I didn't realize how much a steering box could flex till I started chasing the Death Wobble on this Jeep Gladiator. This is the Steer Smart sector shaft and frame reinforcement brace. Today we're beefing up the steering to stop the shake. Welcome to Muddy Ruttzz. This is part 4 of our Death Wobble series. Is this brace a silver bullet? Probably not, but it's a critical piece of the puzzle. Over the next few videos, I'm installing metal cloak drag link, tie rods, track bar, and those heavy-duty Dynatrack ball joints. When I'm done, this Gladiator should drive better than the day it left the showroom. Look at the beef here. Double-sided welds, front and back. These shims are welded on. It's got a nice finish. This logo plate they put on here looks really nice. Looks like a well-made product. The magic here is this roller bearing. It supports the sector shaft, while this part of the bracket reinforces the track bar mount. You've got options like Synergy or Metal Cloak, but for my setup, the Steer Smarts unit hit the sweet spot. I bought this unit and all the other parts with my own money to keep these videos unsponsored and honest. If you want to support the channel, check out the tool and parts list below. It helps me keep the lights on in the studio without costing you an extra cent. I'm replacing all these parts with Metal Cloak. So my track bar and my drag link are coming all the way out. If you're gonna reuse your factory track bar, take it all the way out anyways. It's gonna make it 10 times easier to install the new sector shaft brace. I bought this ball joint separator just to use for this job. My first time using this ball joint separator. Let's see if it lives up to the hype. I had to move the separator to the other side because the frame was interfering with its working. Once I got it in, got it working, it basically exploded the ball joint apart. Be super careful, these parts can be under a lot of tension. Here's another view of the drag link exploding apart. Okay, the ball joint separator, once I figured out where to put it, worked on the sector shaft side of the drag link. On the passenger side of the drag link, this bolt is a little too tall for the business end of this separator to go on. I'm gonna hit this bolt with a grinder, and hopefully that'll get it down just the right height where I'll be able to put this part on and separate this side of the drag link. You gotta be super careful using a grinder like this, and make sure to wear your eye protection. Once I got this tool figured out, it worked pretty well for me. But there's a lot of ways to skin a cat, so let me know in the comments what your favorite way to separate ball joints is. Now that I got the drag link and the track bar removed, it's time to take this big boy 42mm socket with a 1/2-inch adapter and see if we can break loose this sector shaft nut. I screwed up and I got ahead of myself. I should have busted the sector shaft nut loose before I removed the drag link. The drag link would have held the sector shaft in place while I torqued on the nut. But right now, when I torque on the nut, this just moves around. I tied off my sector shaft to my sway bar with a cam strap. Let's see if that holds us good enough for me to torque this bolt off. Well, it looked like that strap worked. Held that sector shaft good enough for me to bust this nut loose. It's slow going, but it's coming off. I went ahead and put a new strap on my pitman arm because I'm going to be tightening this time and I need to hold it the opposite way. You got to use red Threadlocker on the sector shaft nut. I'm going to put it on the nut. A lot of people put it on the sector shaft itself. Probably going to be a little less messy and easier for me to do that. Might have gone a little nuts on the Threadlocker. This big washer goes on first and then the nut. Now it gets torqued to 177 foot-pounds. All right, 177 foot-pounds. I downloaded the instructions for installing this sector shaft brace, and those instructions I got told me that this bottom of this flange needs to be trimmed off for this sector shaft to fit. So I had my grinder. I was ready to chop this off, give this thing a shave and a haircut. Before I did that, I went ahead and dry fit this brace. And I realized that's gonna fit up there without having to trim. So I must have downloaded some old instructions, and I don't know if they ever updated them, but this notch is a lot deeper than what the original one or the picture on my instructions is of this sector shaft brace. So with this notch being deeper, that little flange on the shock tower doesn't interfere with the installation of this. So I don't have to trim that. I'm glad I checked that first before I started grinding away on this shock tower. I will have to get the hose for my reservoir out of the way though. I hit these bolts with the breaker bar, so hopefully they're loose enough for my little non-automotive impact gun to work. I have an impact gun, but this is an impact gun left over from my sheet metal days, and really, it's only good for putting in sheet metal screws and 9/16 bolts and ductwork flanges. Now this brace is gonna have to get fed up from underneath, and now that drip pin's gonna have to come out. Once you get your sector shaft bracket in place, you can install your new track bar bracket bolt. That'll hold everything up until you're ready, until you can get your bolts in it. The new bolts have a lock washer and a flat washer, and we're going to hit them with a little blue Loctite. Whoop. I found it easier to work from underneath here since I don't have a lift. I can't really work on my knees. My knees are too messed up. So from under here, I could also push the steering box around, manipulate it so that I could get these all to go. They're all started now and nothing's cross-threaded. Now I'm going to just snug them up with my impact gun. I'm going to leave these a little loose, and then we can put our roller bearing on, make sure that fits, and then we'll come back, tighten everything down, and torque them. This is our roller bearing that's going in, and these are our bolts. I'm going to get a little anti-seize on this roller bearing. Bolts are going to get blue Loctite. Remember, flat side goes to the front, the bevel goes to the back. Got the 13mm bolts. They've got some nice elongated holes on this bracket that let us get these started real easy, and we won't tighten them down yet. Don't forget your blue Loctite on these bolts. Give these a couple turns to make sure they're all nice and set in there, but not tight. The install instructions I downloaded for this SteerSmart's sector shaft brace told me that these bolts needed to be torqued 44 pounds and then 135-degree turn after the torquing them to 44. That's the way the factory torques bolts. They torque them and then, you know, it's a robot anyways, or a machine that does it. It turns at the right angle. It can be very precise. We could do that here. We can figure out angles and stuff, but I called SteerSmart's and they told me that they changed that. Now it's 97 foot-pounds. So 97 foot-pounds to tighten these. So I'm gonna hit them with the torque wrench now. These bolts that hold the bearing on get 25 to 35. I'm going to split the baby and go with 30. Perfect. Final step, don't forget this little C-clip on the bottom of the new nut. It's the safety that keeps everything locked home. Well, that sector shaft is officially braced, but I'm not done yet. I still have a metal cloak front track bar, tie rod, drag link to install, and I have Dynatrack ball joints. And then we'll have a trip to the alignment shop and then a test run in the desert to see if we finally killed the Death Wobble. Subscribe and check out all the videos in this series. I'm Muddy Ruttzz, and on this channel, the best is yet to come.